Hello, good afternoon, everybody. How are we all today? Good afternoon from slightly overcast Brisbane. How are we all? Jaded, Lily, Dean, Bex, Lottie, Lucy, Jordana, Nade, Christine, Echo, Susan, Ephemeral, lovely to see you. Hello! Hello, hello, hello. How's it all going? It's lovely to see everybody here. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. It has been a day. Let me quickly tell you about my day. Heidi, thank you so much for the super chat. Heidi says, hey Pulpy, it's 11:24 p.m. here and I need to be up at 5:30, so I'm going to fall asleep with you going on in the background. Also, how goes it? It goes very well, Heidi. I hope you have a lovely evening of sleep and I'm happy to be the white noise in the background. Today's been a day. Today's been a good day. I've got a lot of work done. I'm feeling a little tired, but that's okay. It's just brain fog, because while I was very busy being productive, I was also trying to catch up on the lives that are currently going on. There was just a lot. There was a whole lot, and here's me forgetting to do the things that I always forget to do. Bear with me one moment, please. Bear with me one moment. One moment. I forgot to do the thing. Fabulous. Today's been good. It was a little rainy this morning, so I avoided that on my walk, which was nice. And then work, and then listening to live streams as they were going on, and just thinking, what the fuck is going on? Now I've got something in my eye. It's fine. It'll be fine. Cool, so let's start this off like we always do. Hello and welcome. Thank you all for joining me this lovely afternoon. As a note and disclaimer, I am not a medical or physical healthcare professional. I am just some dude who was motivated and lost some weight and now talks about things on the internet. We are not here to bully, we are not here to shame, we are not here to humiliate, we're not here to do any of those things. We're simply here to talk about the produced and monetized content that goes up on YouTube, right? Right. So, I am fully aware that Miss Foodie Beauty is currently live. I am also fully aware that she has kind of mishandled one very important interaction with her audience, and that was a discussion about abusive relationships, essentially. I'm sorry to start this off on quite like a heavy topic, but I'm just going to address it because she didn't, or she did so very poorly, right? So, you deserve respect, you deserve safety, and you are worthy of your own happiness, right? So if you find yourself in relationships that you know are not healthy, you know are dangerous, you know aren't making you happy, reach out to your support system. There are national and international support groups out there, regardless of if it's friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, professional organizations, charity organizations. You are worth your safety, respect, and dignity. So that's that, right? Anyway, just wanted to get that out there because Foodie sure as fuck isn't, and Foodie's mods sure as fuck won't. So that's how I feel about that. I got pretty pissed off. This is not my lived experience, but I am sympathetic and empathetic to people in situations outside of my authority, because I'm not an authority on those situations. But I also know that everybody deserves the respect and safety. So that's that. We're just going to say that. Mods in the chat, if you'd like to drop any resources for the chat currently going on, please feel free. I highly encourage it. And yeah, so that's that. Anyway, now that we've got that over, you don't have to take, it's not an insurmountable ask to say someone with a platform just have a human conversation. That, it just really kind of made me realize the connection between creator and audience is much more important than, well, no, it's not that I didn't realize it, it's just a highlight, right? Anyway, sorry. We are having a look at a couple of lives today. Is Miss Chantal still going? Yep, it's still going. All right, cool. So far, we've had 3 live streams today from the one that only Miss Chantal Marie, Miss Foodie Beauty. We're going to start it in chronological order. I'm not looking at the Cracker Barrel Meatloaf Copycat Cooking Live because I'm not. I'm not well versed in the realms of meatloaf. I did watch the cooking segment and was like, what is going on? Also, I think we are now in the community referring to that style of meatloaf as meat cake. Because it seemed very confused. So if you want to join in those conversations that happen when I'm not live, we do have a Discord which is attached to channel membership. Welcome to all the new channel members. I'm very happy to have you. Yeah, it's a good time over on the Discord. Anyway, the super secret Discord, guys. Yeah, so we're going to be having a look at two today so far, which only equals about 50 minutes worth of content. So we'll put it up to speed, we'll see what's going on, and then we might check in live at the Beeze to kind of have a look at that. So bear with me while I just get myself get myself set up, which involves pouring myself a beverage. So once again, thank you all for being here on this lovely, what day is it? Wednesday afternoon? Ooh, my days are getting mixed up. Ooh, not good. Wednesday afternoon, 200 of you here. I'm very happy to have you. Thank you all so much. If you would like to watch Chantal, who's currently live, like she's doing that, I'm doing a reaction to content that she has produced and put up, not too long ago. So just in case anyone decides to get angry about that. All right. Hello, Edna. Lovely to see you. Sorry, chat. I'm just getting myself set up and set. We're not going to look at her chat because I value my mental health. We're going to speed it up. We're going to... Okay, we'll start at 1.25. I think this earlier react has some like interesting talking points in it, so we won't speed through this round. I know the current live that's going on has a lot of dead air, so like maybe if we get to that later in the evening, but I do also need to eat at some stage. So buttons. Here we go. Hello. Oh,
I'm like
audio. That would help. Yep.
My internet connection is not very good.
Uh-huh. Okay. I think we're good. Let me know audio. Fam, I appreciate it.
Hi, Chrissy, Tracy, Danielle. Hi.
Hey, Metal.
Rosa, Chrissy, everybody. Hi, Joe. Am I buffering because look at my cute earrings. My internet connection is not good.
Great. Nice. Thanks, Luna.
Okay,
Appreciate
I'm hungry. I've been waiting so long to eat this pizza.
It's pizza again. Guys, again, not a mental or physical health care professional, just an audience member who's getting very confused. Where is the health? What is going on? Why do we keep having pizza? What? So
I drove all the way to my hometown for a night drive because I woke up depressed and wanted to get out of here and didn't care for...
Also, when I was first listening to this, I was like, oh, and like, so I listen to it quite often in the background because I like to like be productive while like just chatter's going on. It helps me. While I was listening to this, I did look at what like the actual framing of the live was like, and I was like, oh, this is giving me big like black turtleneck floating head in the void live. And I remember that video that the video that I created in that reaction was like 3.5 hours long. So buckle in.
I was beezing or not. So this pizza, just the smell reminds me of pizza day at school because we used to get our pizza from 2-for-1 pizza. 2-for-1 pizza.
I don't know what 2-for-1 pizza is. It's
like cardboard pizza.
Also, I don't think we may have now and then had pizza in primary school, I think, but in high school, government mandate was like very pushing for heavy stuff in the schools, which was good, like teaching kids, cookies are sometimes food. We had a thing called pizza rounders, which were also known as pizza pockets. They're basically a mini microwavable calzone. They were awful, but just like, that's my memory of pizza in school.
Really good with ketchup or dip. Yum. So I'm gonna eat a pizza in the middle of nowhere to temporarily ease my
Oh, really, Ali? Oh, that's a shame. I mean, as I say, I'm not here for the drama. I'm not here to cause drama, not here to stir drama, just here to talk about like the shenanigans that happen on this platform. So that's all.
Depression and problems. And forget about my problems for the 10 minutes it takes to eat this pizza.
Yeah, the
You love
rectangle
2-for-1
pizza?
pizza?
Oh, rectangle pizza, yeah.
I'm using creamy garlic dip because I had no ketchup. Alright, guys. I need to eat because I have a headache. And I got a large Diet Coke from Wendys because I like fountain drinks. Beauty bite!
Okay. Curious Zach is now thinking, Miss, you went to a Wendy's for a drink? Okay. I mean, I don't know if that's common. I don't, like, hit up drive-thrus ever. So, I don't know if you would just, like, drive through to get just a beverage. But okay. Pizza empanadas? Ooh, nice. Hey, Arcadian.
Pizza's at home.
Bye.
I want to be alone. Nothing personal.
Chantel, you're not alone right now. You're technically your audience has joined you for this pizza meal? Dinner? I'm not sure what this is, but you are not currently alone.
Just
McDonald's Diet Coke is where it is. That's absolutely 100% true, Lindsay. 100%. Although to be fair, it's Pepsi Max over Diet Coke for me. All the time. Because Pepsi Max first came out with a no sugar vanilla flavor, and Pepsi Max vanilla, like, shits on everything. Best soft drink. Yep, Pepsi Max fan. Also, SodaStream make a Pepsi Max, like, syrup, so... Pepsi.
the 2-for-1 pizza has a unique flavor to it. It cooled off a bit, but...
Not good would be the flavor I would imagine.
Medium pizza, the 2 dips was only $8.
Okay, great. So, like, not great tasting food is cheap. Understood. Saint Pepsi. Oh yeah, I know we've got some fans of water in the chat as well. I know. I am a big fan of water as well, but to help curb some of my some of my sweet cravings, I do opt for the diet soda.
Oh, hi Ned. Girl, hi everybody.
Heidi, thank you so much for the super chat. Heidi says, I know I said sleep, but I know about school lunch pizza. Pizza is allowed at school once a week or less. It must have 60% whole wheat crust, low sugar, low fat to no fat cheese. Interesting. That's cool. That's very cool. I remember the year I graduated, they were getting rid of like flavored milks in the schools, and I was like, oh man. And then I went on to become heavily reliant on iced coffee for years.
Reality, Lamira. Probably tomorrow, Cat Queen. I don't know. I thought I'd feel like getting up and doing it today, but I didn't.
Pepsi Max Raspberry? Not
by the time I got
the
out
biggest
of bed,
fan.
It was 7.
Hey, Teresa.
I was like, what?
Strawberry milk in school. Strawberry was my least favorite flavor, though. It was always chocolate, and then as an adult, it was coffee. And we had some weird flavors as well. There's a company called Breaker that I think are owned by Coke or Coca-Cola Amatil, who do some bonkers flavors. There's like lime flavored milk. They do like malt flavored milk. They have a raspberry flavored milk is like a blue raspberry flavor. Like that's seasonal, thank God. But like, why? Why would you want why? Berry flavored milk.
How did I sleep until 7?
Not a smoothie, mind you, just flavored milk.
You know what I mean?
Melon milk shenanigans.
Hi, Penguin and Chef. Extra sauce. Hi, Maureen.
Uh-huh.
Just eat pizza every day at this point.
It's not great milk.
Yeah.
Bagged milk? No, we never have. I don't think so. Is bagged milk like a Capri Sun situation type deal style moment, or is it different? Banana milk slaps. Ruhal, 100% banana milk. It's that fake banana flavor.
I probably could eat pizza every day.
So good.
Hi, Kristen Michelle.
So good. Kool-Aid with milk? That sounds interesting, Celine.
You can see the stars here. I think I need to buy a house. I don't like the city I live in. I don't like Ottawa.
Bagged milk is Canadian.
I want to move to. I'm torn between like wanting a place in the country with just a bunch.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got skim milk powder that comes in a bag. Does that count?
Of animals, and wanting to live in a condo in Toronto.
Sorry, Beetle baby. Pickle juice and milk.
No.
Michelle, why? Alright, what's going on?
Coyotes and shit here.
They have coyotes in Canada?
Here, coyote.
Interesting. Alberta doesn't claim
Toronto
bagged
just
milk.
seems more interesting, like a lot more to do, bigger, a lot more culturally diverse. Ottawa is too, but.
Oh, so is she picking up the storyline of I want to move to Toronto again? Didn't we? Wasn't that only a few weeks ago? I don't know. In Chantel-verse time, I don't know where I am. I'm in a content haze of still trying to figure out like so much.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Hello, guy. Whistler, Meg, New York City. Make Pete's the barn boy. Well, that's the thing.
I don't know if moving, to be quite frank, moving is like one of the most stressful things you have to do. Or, well, you do, right? I think. I have moved quite a number of times, and I can tell you I am not an enjoyable person to be around while moving. So I can only imagine Chantal, and I'm imagining she's taking Pete's in the hypothetical move. That would be a stressful situation.
He doesn't like the country.
Oh,
But
yeah, and lockdown as well.
What difference does it make? You're in a room all the time anyway.
Exactly. So what difference does it make if you're in the room all the time? Like, you could literally go and live anywhere. Like I said in a video earlier last week, like, it would make sense if she actually moved back home. Because it seems like her hometown may be, like, cheaper in rent. She does all her work from home anyway. Pete's also works from home. So they could possibly find something. And you know what? We're going to, all of this is in the discussion of finances because someone decided to bring finances into the discussion and it wasn't me. So, you know, if you're worried about finances, and she talks more about it today as well, because YouTube's introduced a new royalties tax for the US. It's a thing. It's fine. So, yeah, just, you know, I imagine it would be cheaper to move back. Like, even for me, if I moved back up to far north Queensland and was doing YouTube full time, that's not happening. Like, it would be so much cheaper than living in or near a capital city. But anyway.
In Boston,
It's true,
Nathaniel?
James.
This is from 2-for-1 Pizza.
Moving brings out the worst in you. Hi, Monstera. How are you?
Jules.
Gotta protect the plants.
2-for-1
You have
Pizza.
coyotes in Canada?
It's kind of cold.
They're scavengers. Okay. Would they and the wolves not get along?
Not even the crust. Now, I was extra Beeze.
Jordana, to be fair, I'm not mad at a Canadian club. A little bit of ginger ale, a little bit of lime. Delicious. Hey, Grace, how are you?
I've been having a huge craving
Uh-huh.
for cigarettes. So, I bought a pack of cigarettes. They're like $20 a pack.
Why did you buy a packet of cigarettes? Excuse me, miss? Why did you buy a packet of cigarettes? Multiple comorbidities aside, you also have now posed to your audience that you have been diagnosed or re-diagnosed, or is there another conversation about untreated asthma? Guess what's really not good for asthma? Like, the super morbid obesity is not great for asthma, but, like, the fucking cigarettes are not good for asthma. Oh, boy. What is going on?
About Export A Medium. I lit it, and it was the most awful, disgusting taste. I almost threw up. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, hi. Ex-smoker of 7 years. Yeah, smoking doesn't taste great. Beetle Baby! Hello, thank you so much for the super chat. Beetle Baby says, not a fan of cardboard pizza, Beeze, but your earrings are making up for it. They really suit you. 3 out of 10 poutines. Thank you so much. I can't wait for another, 6 or 7 weeks, and then hopefully everything will be healed, and I can just buy all of the earrings. I'm not going to have a dragon's hoard of earrings, but I'm going to get at least 7 pairs, 1 for every day. Just something fun, Possibly a lot of rainbow. Maybe not a lot of rainbow. A little bit of rainbow. But just some nice silver stuff. That's what I want. Ooh, gems? Gemstones. Yes. Anyway.
So, I shot the entire pack out the window. Hi, Annie!
But hold on.
And
I misclicked. But she vapes as well. Now, admittedly, is vaping better than cigarettes? I'm not a mental or physical healthcare professional, so I'm not going to give you any advice on that. But, you probably shouldn't aggravate the asthma, and why the fuck a cigarette? Why a cigarette? Why a cigarette? Why a cigarette specifically after the live where you were wearing that cardigan that had holes in it that legitimately looked like they could perhaps be cigarette burns? Now, cynical Zach thought that they did look like cigarette burns. But then I also thought, well, there isn't any charring around the outside, and that's kind of what happens to clothes. They burn. And then I was like, wait, that fiber is probably super synthetic, so it just, melted into a very neat circle. So I don't know. I now don't know whether or not this story is people are calling me out for the holes in my cardigan. Oh, now we have to bring up cigarettes for what reason? Why do we have to be told? Why do we have to be told everything? Because it's your channel. I get that it's your channel. That's fine, but what kind of audience is sitting there being you've been telling us about asthma? Oh, you had a cigarette? Oh, yeah, cool. Whatever.
I was relieved that it grossed me out. What's going on with my hair? I look like a weasel.
I can't see anything. It's just a floating
and the birds
image.
And the bees.
On Dart Patrol.
Hi, Tammy!
What do we say? In Australia, forgive me if this is it sounds offensive, but it's not. We say, we're fangin for a durry. That's what we say. Fangin means you really want it. You're really, really... almost like how Chantal uses cravings. You're fangin for it. You really want it. And then a durry is how we say cigarette at times. Yes. Anyway, I am from Queensland, if anyone in the chat was unfamiliar. I think that language is perhaps specifically Queensland, but it might be other places as well. Durry, I think, is pretty well known.
I littered the cigarettes. Yeah, spell it. Juice. Hi, Tina! Oh.
Oh, really, Lily? Oh, I'm sorry.
You guys don't have to mod so heavily tonight. I don't really... Honestly, I'm not phased right now by anything.
Durries or darts?
I'm too involved in my own little world. Alright, I'm getting full. Since I've started on my medication, I have horrible headaches.
Oh, no, Celine, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It really wasn't. Nothing's come of any discussion, so it's fine. Just me. I mean, I come from far north Queensland. I know. I know. I travelled a lot around Queensland when I was growing up, so, my language developed hilariously. Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Ali says, I am no longer allowed to celebrate my family and friends coming out because I turned it into a big musical number. Look, Ali, I think when it comes to celebration of friends and families coming out, it's it's for them to do it. You just have to make it as supportive as possible, I think.
I get hungry maybe once a day. Hi, Javonda.
Oh, Stephanie, it's Victorian as well.
Annie. And
interesting.
What else? I can't.
In South Australia, they're ciggies. Never heard anyone say durry or dart. Lauren. Definitely do.
Sorry, pizza. Bon appetit.
I definitely.
Nadia, in French, food is called nourriture, right? The headaches go away.
It's a vibe, Jordana. Hey, Wendy, how's it going? Yeah, Australian English is definitely a vibe.
Also, guys, sometimes the it's not the mods deleting, it's the Google. They do it in all live streams.
Okay, so I looked at this, and yes, Google has implemented an interesting level of automated moderation, right? And it's specifically like, I don't know whether or not it's specifically designed for particular reasons, but it's just about like potentially charged topics of discussion and language. So at times, it depends on the chat. I think it may be in PC only. Don't take my word for that though. I have seen the screenshots of this message has been removed by Google Moderator, but it literally says Google Moderator has removed it. So like that. So if you see that, that's what that is. My favorite musical, Harry? Ooh, depends on the day, really. I really like Cabaret a lot of the time. My top musicals include Cabaret, Wicked, Les Mis. Probably those three currently. But I'm still yet to see a full stage production of Beetlejuice, Frozen. Yeah, those two. So those two may fall somewhere on the list. Wicked is a good musical. I agree.
This large pizza is good for my mental health right now.
Oh, really, Lily?
Actually, It's not really, but it feels like it is.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
It's
Hold
a
on,
medium.
rewind. Sorry.
Actually, it's not really, but
No, again.
eating, it's the Google. They do it in all live streams.
Sorry, I found something interesting. Uh-huh.
This large pizza is good for my mental health right now.
Purely based on my knowledge as an audience member, I'm going to say I don't think so. I just don't think so. Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello again. Ali says, I'm bisexual with ADHD and I love glitter and musicals. Look, that sounds like a hoot. I'm all for that.
Actually, it's not really, but it feels like
No,
it is.
it's not really.
It's a medium. Stop upsizing.
I just wish, Ephemeral, thank you so much for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. Ephemeral says, tips for overcoming nicotine abuse. Trying it out. My only tips for quitting cigarettes was to keep trying. You'll get there. And I spoke to my doctor and we worked out that medical assistance would help. So we have like obviously the quit line in Australia. So if there's a national like quit smoking service, I recommend speaking to them or your doctor, obviously. My doctor and I settled on a medication called Champix, which I found supremely useful. It basically changes a lot of things, and you do need to like continuously go back for checkups, but one of the things was the taste. So you get so used to the taste of gross cigarettes, and then all of a sudden it literally tastes like you're eating garbage while you're smoking. And I was physically unable to get through more than half a cigarette, and then done. That was my story of quitting. Hello, Lauren and Claudia. How are you?
You don't like pizza. I don't trust you.
I don't like this pizza. It just doesn't look good at all. My pleasure, Ephemeral. And feel free to let us know how that journey goes, because I'll be keen as a bean to hear your successes.
I have been avoiding certain things, just like responsibilities.
Avoidance and ignorance. Yep, I'm very familiar.
Too much bread.
See you, Jace. Have a good one.
You know? I just need to get some fresh air.
Okay.
Oh, the stars are beaut.
Love to see them.
I see the Big Dipper.
Oh, Evelina, thank you so much for the super chat. Evelina says, I switched from smoking to overeating, not a great idea. Mate, I hear you. I think when I quit smoking, because smoking was always a boredom thing for me, and then all of a sudden food became the boredom thing for me, and it was, drinking 2 liters of full fat iced coffee every day and not counting calories and just being bored. And yeah, my overall health got better because obviously not smoking is really good for your health. However, I wasn't aware of like the impact of, that hour, 2 hours worth of time I would normally spend outside, like pacing or just like being distracted with cigarettes. So yeah, it's a common, for me, it was very common for the food to be the replacements of cigarettes, but I've fortunately managed how to circle back on all of that. Not Again, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for the super chat. Not Again says, love your channel, you crack me up. Look, I'm so happy to have everybody here, 324 of you in the chat. I very much appreciate it. Not Again, thank you very much. It's not at all required, but very much appreciated. Thank you for being here. Okay.
You ever wonder if when we die, they say we go into the sky? If that's true. Like you look at pictures of the Hubble telescope and all those like gaseous things in space, you'd wonder like if we go to the sky after we die, we would probably get our butt singed by all the gases.
No. Depending on what you think happens, after the knowable, I guess. I hate this take on it. Oh my god. What is going on?
I don't know, I just think of weird things.
That's not weird, I just think that's stupid. I think that's so stupid. Yep. The sun is hot. Stars tend to be hot. Sometimes less hot than other stars. But yeah.
I know, I have to eat better. Which is exactly why. Oh. I'm thinking of doing a vlog series. After I've been promising videos I haven't put out yet, I know.
Time warp? Are we getting a time warp at some stage? At this stage, I feel like the time warp has been teased for so long that I will be happy with pretty much anything. I will be happy with a produced video of some regard that will make me happy. That isn't going for a live and eating 2-for-1 pizzas in the dark.
I'm thinking of doing a vlog series called Glow Up 2021.
Ooh. Okay.
Where I film, I get up in the morning.
Hey, Verity, how are you?
And try my best at working towards a glow up so that whenever it comes to travel, I have my passport ready. I can go experience romance around the world.
Okay. Look, it's a good plan to have. Unfortunately, the way the world is at the moment, like international travel, I don't know. Like, I think a friend of mine and I are planning on like what we would want to do if we get the chance to go to America. Beetle Baby, thank you so much for the super chat. It's a little hard to watch, yes. I agree. It is. I was only listening to parts of this because obviously I've been busy today, but like it does. The conversation seems to be going in strange places for sure. Yeah, so friend and I organizing what we would want to do if we get the chance to go to America, writing a big list, trying to like map a little like roadmap, doing all that stuff. So it's good to have hopes and it's good to have like goals that you want to move towards. I always say like you got to have a goal to, to move forward with things, right? So good to be prepared, but also very realistic that that the world is a challenge at the moment, Grace, thank you so much for the super chat. Grace says, was at 269 lbs, went to 170 in 9 months. Damn, that's awesome. That's 100 down. Had a baby, went to 150, then 10 years later, I'm just now over my initial goal. Tips for renewing motivation. First of all, congratulations, Grace. Second of all, chat, can we get some hands up in the chat for Grace and smashing goals and for motivation, right? Okay, so motivation we talk a lot about here. My primary form of motivation is three things really. One, my doctor told me I needed to lose weight, essentially. And I was like, you're the professional and you're telling me I need to go on a medication. You're telling me that weight loss will reduce the requirement for that medication. So yes, I'm going to listen to that, right? That was motivation number one. Motivation number two was me reconciling with like my own issues with the world. I used to be quite angry. I used to think that the world owed me something. I used to think like I was very jealous and envious of people for unreasonable reasons. Like, why should I be jealous over someone else's happiness? Why should I be envious over someone else's health? I'm not in control of that. They're in control of that. I'm in control of my health and happiness, not them. So I don't need to be jealous and envious of that. So changing the way that I kind of saw like interpersonal relationships ultimately really helped me internally. And then watching Foodie and Amber. Foodie and Amber are one of my biggest, in the top three, obviously, motivators to living a better life and being healthier. Because ultimately, I've seen what this behavior has led to, and I don't want to be there. So I'm going to take care of myself. Anyway, thank you again for the super chat. And you know what? We're more than happy to talk about motivation here. So feel free. I feel like I could have said that all during this. Apologies, everyone.
Yeah. I'm such a mess right now. I'm in the middle of...
It's not just that. A lot of places aren't as friendly to or easy for someone with as limited mobility. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, James. I'll keep it in mind as we continue. And it's my pleasure, Grace. It's absolutely my pleasure. Feel free to reach out, like, if you ever just need to chat as well.
Nowhere. Eating pizza. Full of cat hair. Oh, I miss my couch right now.
Why not just get delivery? Well, I mean, no, well, she said in the drive that she wanted to get out, which is fair. Like, I mean, fair enough, but...
Oh, did you try it, fat sister? The sauce? Hi, girl! Oh my god. Yes, Penguin and Chef? I want to go see Queen. No, well, not the real Queen, but...
Oh, reference to traveling. Right, yes. No, I do understand that.
2 flurries? I'm okay. Well, I mean, no. But
hi, Caitlin.
I'm struggling.
Mate, we know. We know. And like I consistently say here, like, I'm not trying to, like, to minimize, that's the word I'm trying to find. I'm not trying to minimize the struggle. I get it, right? But the reason why I like speaking on this topic is because a lot of the similarities that I see in this media, I feel, I lived, I know. So, like, it's hard as an audience member and ultimately a fan, because ultimately I just want her to, like, win, you know? I want her to live her healthiest, happiest life, like she says that she wants, right? And her previous content has stated, like, if we got a, like, I've been watching the 2019 story arc and just thinking, like, man, I would be so happy to see, like that level of vlog, that level of production happening. But instead, we get the other side of things, which is the mukbangs, which makes it harder for you to kind of continue on as an audience member and, you know, that.
This pizza's not even tasting that good. It tastes good, but not that good.
I don't need, what is even the point? What's even the point? Like, I think it might just be, I don't even know now. I don't even know Is it just socializing? Like, is it just wanting to be social? Because I get that. Like, I know the feeling of needing to be social, of wanting to be social, of wanting to have some form of interaction. But she also said previously in this, you know, she just wanted some alone time. And it's like, look, it was my birthday the other day. I also wanted to just switch off. And I did. And it was nice. I just went and relaxed. I practiced some self-care. I did all of those things. So, you know, like, I encourage that if Foodie wanted to be alone, but ultimately we've come back around to you're on a live stream with a very large platform watching you, so...
They're cat earrings. Aren't they cute?
I can't see. It's all a blur.
I wish a cute animal would emerge from the woods right now. That's what I hope to see here. BBJ earrings.
Is it?
Excuse me. Hi, Fedora chick. Sorry, I might burp and everything else.
Pardon me. Me as well. Hi.
Hi, Laura's Kitchen.
Hi, Laura's Kitchen.
Hi, Epster.
Oh, did we get a freeze, or is that just... No, I think that's just... We need British in here to help us with our streaming services.
Is it buffering now?
It's the buffing. British, hey! How's it going?
Yeah, I'll probably get off then, drive home, and then go. The connection is not good here.
Uh-huh.
You only eat 1 calorie per year. Joe. I'm actually not hungry anymore. I have some...
It's interesting as well, because as an audience member, like, I know we talk a lot about, like, the everything. We talk a lot about everything. Who am I kidding? We talk a lot about everything and trying to understand it from, at least my perspective, a layman's perspective. So when she's been talking about, like, Ozempic, and when she's been talking about, like, all of these medications that she's been put on, in the right hands, the journey of the health discussion could ultimately be interesting, right? Like, it could be... I have no idea what the fuck Ozempic does. I mean, I do in reference to having conversations, but again, as a layman... I don't have any ideas. So it could be interesting to be... You could do a vlog series of like, hi guys, okay, so I'm going to be documenting my journey on this medication. And I'm going to be talking about how I feel physically and how I feel mentally. And that's just what we're going to do. I'm going to do a 5-minute vlog every day. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to treat it like a diary. Whether or not you should do that is entirely up to Chantal. I mean, I think that she argues that it's my health, my story, my channel, and that's fine. But what you choose to put out there here and what you say seem to conflict a little bit. But I think that would ultimately be interesting because it would be a journey of like an experience that I don't have any idea of how it feels. But instead, we're just back in the car eating pizza.
You guys can have the rest. It doesn't look very appetizing, does it? Ugh, I have a headache. You don't know the definition of literally, baby Bo, because literally means I would have literally eaten all the pizza and I just showed you that there's some left.
Do I know the definition of literally?
Jeez.
Probably not.
I hate people who just use literally, like, not in a literal sense. Or
a literal manner or sense.
When people do that. I do drink. I drink nothing but water.
Oh, there's an informal definition from Oxford. Interesting.
So.
My beard looks fab. Thanks, Lily. I haven't oiled it today. It's getting a bit overhang, though, on the lips.
You can't compare this to an addict overdosing. I mean, an overdose and eating a few slices of pizza is not the same.
Yeah, it's not. And this is a hard topic to discuss because who the fuck am I? I'm not an authority on this. and I don't have a lived experience with it, again, it reflects back on we as audience members, because we have been told that there are discussions about addiction and discussions about the ED. And so it's the transparency and the clarification that makes it quite difficult, because, like, again, look here, me as an audience, as a content creator, I can't expect the audience to know every single thing I talk about in the correct context, in reference to education, professionalism, lived experiences. I can't. So when we talk about topics, it does kind of need to come from a, like, know me as a content creator. It's purely out of responsibility, right? Because anything you say can be taken out of context for an audience member who may not know what the context is. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that's an interesting thing to bring up.
Yeah.
Hey Deb, how's it going? Oh, the sun's going down.
I don't feel like crying. I don't know. People do care about me.
Yes.
You're forgetting.
Look, as a human being, I care about Chantal. I care about another human being on the other side of, like, two different lenses, on the other side of the world, going through the struggles. But I also see, like, the shenanigans and, like, the production and the frustration and all of those things. So we can be sympathetic and we can be empathetic, but we can also be critical. Like, those are things, right?
Getting that you can tell somebody all you want what to do with their life, and they still have free will, and they don't have to listen to you. You people never have bad days where you just want to eat, like, ice cream or pizza or whatever, you know?
I do. 100%. 100%. But, like, this is the same argument that Chantal makes about people having to be perfect or having to be imperfect to understand the struggles. No, like, we don't. Yes, I will throw my hand up, and I won't speak for anyone else but me, and say, yes, I have bad days where I just want to cave. I just want to eat myself happy. But the majority of my days, I do not. And when I do suffer those, you know, days of that style of thinking, I've managed to build a toolbox in my head where I can kind of unpack those feelings and understand where they're coming from and understand why I feel that way and move forward. I also don't give in to those pressures and then put it into an online sphere in this capacity. So, and if I did, I mean, I think we would be having a very different discussion.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Buttons.
You have a bad day every day. And what's your point? Like, what is people's point by saying that? That I have a bad day. It's not every day, but lately, a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I'll let her continue, but I'll just say that if you're having a bad day, right, that is yours, right? That is yours to take, to own. That is the thing you are dealing with. I am not dealing with the same bad day that Chantal is dealing with, and that is completely 100% understood, and I respect and understand that. However, you are choosing to showcase your bad days for money. And that's what that is. So that, like, some elements of your audience, that's fine. We all have differing opinions. Some people think I'm awful, some people think I'm lovely, and that is someone's opinion, and that is fine. But we all have differing opinions based on the media that we see. Because this is all playing out on YouTube. If this were playing out off of the internet, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter to anyone. No one would know who I am. No one would know who Foodie is. So it's a moot point. If you were having a bad day, much like many of both of our audiences, if you suffer a bad day, the world doesn't know about it. or a very small fragment of the world may know about it, right? But when you choose to put it on a public platform and you choose to monetize that content, it then becomes, available for criticism, critique, for viewership, for all of those things. So that, buttons.
I'm going through a rough time.
We know.
Okay.
We know. And ultimately, I just want to see the win. I don't know how many times I can say it. I want Foodie to win. I want her to overcome her struggles, to overcome her problems. I want her to, prove everybody who thinks she won't or can't do it wrong. I can't wait. Can't wait, personally. And I hope to see the journey. Do I think that it should be documented? Probably not. But, that's her call to make because she is the content creator. But imagine how inspirational it would be to see, the win. I say it every time. Imagine how many people could be influenced into being motivated, being inspired to see the progress, to see the win.
Apparently not.
You do have to own them first, Lily. You're correct. Yeah.
Hi, Marissa.
100%.
I am getting help, Kaylee. I have therapy tomorrow, actually. I'm on antidepressants.
Okay. I won't speak on that because I don't know, but the therapy is great. She spoke earlier, was it yesterday, saying that maybe it was the really late live, saying that she might need to increase. She was saying 2 times a month she's currently on, I think. And I was like, look, if you don't feel like that's enough, bump it up. Or, if the relationship with your therapist isn't working out, try finding a different one through them. Try finding a referral through them, whatever. So we'll see. I mean, we can hope. It's just a shame. Look, real talk. I'm not telling Foodie what to put out on the channel. It is just a shame, however, that we consistently get information about the physical health. We consistently get updates about the ER visits. We consistently get updates about what prescription medication she's on. She goes live and takes medication, for God's sake. She does all of that. But when it comes to the therapy side of it, there's very little discussion. There's no discussion about, what type of therapy. It's what her relationship with a therapist is like. And I'm not saying she needs to include that. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about health, I think for your audience, it may be a little less confusing if you talk about the physical and the mental health, as opposed to just focusing purely on the deterioration of the physical health, because then that's what causes so much of the audience to have frustrations. That was a weird pronunciation. To have frustrations when you do talk about the mental health or the lack of addressment on that topic, because it's so heavily focused on the physical. Anyway, again, not telling her what to put out. I'm just saying this is how an audience gets frustrated.
Oh, happy birthday, Janine.
Absolutely, Rain. Yeah. Movement and motion.
I never said it was Olivia.
It's great for mental health. For me, at least. It helped me.
Thank you, Robert. Fernanda.
I love taking a walk. I walk to and from work every day. It's I get about an hour and a half of walking every day. Sunshine, fresh air, seeing other human beings but not getting too close. It's good.
No, Pizza's having leftovers.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't feel guilty anymore eating junk food, Edie. It is what it is. I'm trying not to associate bad emotions with eating food, placing any morality or lack of morality on food. There's nothing to feel guilty about,
There's not, but I think there's okay, look, again, not a mental or physical healthcare professional. I have no authority to talk on this matter. However, it is my opinion, and only my opinion, as a dude who lost some weight and dealt with his own relationships with food and continues to deal with his relationships with food, right? It is my opinion that guilt and responsibility are 2 different things. I don't allow myself to feel guilty over food. I do, however, recognize that I need to be responsible about my health. That's all. That's it. I don't feel guilty if I was 1,000 steps under my step count for the day. I don't feel guilty if I had a slice of birthday cake. That's not where I'm at with my relationship with my health. However, I will acknowledge the fact that I'm responsible not to eat half of my birthday cake. I'm responsible for getting outside and making myself feel good. I am the one responsible for my health, no one else. That's it. Self-reflection, not self-blame. Caitlin, that is perfectly said. Thank you. Yes.
If you have a problem with food, you shouldn't feel guilty about it.
No, because there's the entire discussion about guilt and shame, and we're not here for that, right? And whatever I say doesn't come from places of that ilk. It's purely about acknowledging the fact that you are responsible for your health. You don't get to make excuses to yourself, because the minute you kind of like co-sign on that, I feel like that's kind of, that's kind of where it gets the hardest. Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. Amber says, signing off from Las Vegas, here's to hoping she learns her worth and starts taking care of herself. 100%. Keep bringing your perspective, Zach. Your delightful disposition and commentary, I appreciate it. Amber, I very much appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Question mark, maybe? Not sure on the timing in America at the moment, but thank you very much for the super chat. That's not at all required, but very much appreciated. Thank you. So, yeah. Anyway.
I didn't even eat that much, yeah. It's not the healthiest thing to eat, but I had a few slices of pizza. It actually doesn't even taste that good.
No, you don't need to justify it to me. I mean, as an audience member, I feel as if that may have been a comment of justification that I don't care. I don't need, eat whatever the fuck you want. But it's on the YouTubes, so expect that the audience will have an opinion. Because guess what? We as audience members form our opinions on media instantly and continuously. And our opinions, thoughts, comments, ideas are consistently changing based on the media that we consume. Not outside of the media itself, but things change. Our perspective changes frame by frame, ultimately. You can turn this around. Chantel has the ability to turn the audience's perception of herself around. And I do consistently find it interesting, just the relationship between audience and content creator here, because it's been happening for so long. It's just the conversation of so many people screaming into the void saying, we want the best for you, please, you yourself acknowledge that these things are a challenge, that these things are difficult, that these things don't feel good, please just wake up, just wake up, please.
Hi, Twin Waffle.
This one's hard, Mary. I agree.
This is a way for me to cope with things. This is how I've been coping with things. Going for drives, getting food. But I don't know if it's the needle or what, but I just don't feel food just doesn't taste that good as good. It's just I don't know, it just doesn't taste the same anymore.
I just kind of wish the focus wasn't on the food, and admittedly it is. Look, and here's the thing as well, I continuously come back to it, the channel is built on the food, that there is reinforcement, there is incentive, there is all of these things surrounding the food. That relationship with food, I have no authority to speak on, and I could not begin to even imagine what that looks like. Because it's not just the food makes me feel good, it's also food equals dollars in the bank. It also at the moment currently reads food equals social interaction, which I've lived through 2 out of 3 of those comments, right? Getting together with a group of friends and not being aware of the amount of shitty food or the amount of alcohol or the amount of cigarettes or whatever that you're intaking. It does happen. You are still responsible for your health. So with the added incentivizing, the benefit, the cash money, it makes it just makes thinking about it all that much more tricky. Hey, Amy, how's it going?
I do YouTube videos.
Yep. YouTube videos.
You can't expect me to just be like healed. Like it might take a long time. I don't know.
It will take a long time and it will take effort. And look, the long and short of it is that a lot of your audience currently, myself included, feels like we do not see the effort go into the healing of it all. We don't. We just don't. So, because again, you choose to showcase food and the deterioration of physical health over the mental of it all. Do you need to show the mental of it all? No, it's your health, it's your channel, you can choose whatever the fuck you want to show. But please understand that that is one of the primary reasons why your audience is confused, because you're giving them about 2/3 of the story. That part.
I don't think so. I don't think people...
See you, Jen. Have a great cycle. Be safe. Oh, of course, Stephanie. Absolutely painted herself into a corner.
Like, you have no right to say that. You don't know what it's like to battle severe depression, an eating disorder, food addiction all at once.
No, we don't. We don't. But again, you're creating content based around that, and that's fine. That's not a problem. It doesn't matter. But you are responsible for your health, and you are responsible for the content that you create. So if you create content with the BED, with the addiction, with the depression, like if you take all of those things and make that the focus of your content, please understand that your audience may get frustrated if they do not see you addressing things that they call out as things that you may wish to address. There is no comparison that I can make, because these lived experiences are very personal. I can talk about my relationship with food. I can talk about how I lost weight. I can talk about what motivated me. I'm not Chantal. I'm not inside of her head, and I'm certainly not a professional. So anything I say is purely coming from what we see as audience members. And we all see the same thing. Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild that we are all sitting here watching the same thing? And even me, I've got myself off on another screen. So we're all watching me, we're all watching Foodie, we're all receiving the same signals into our eyes, into our ears, into our brains, but we're all forming different ideas. We're all forming different opinions. We're all following different narratives. I have a really bad memory, so people who have been watching Chantal for longer, who have better memories than I, will be able to clarify on different topics. They'll be able to say, "Oh, Zach said that thing before," or "Oh, that's like a common thing that Foodie would say." So it's wild. It's cool and interesting. But that's why it's so important. Transparency and clarity and concept and non-confusing narratives and storylines. That's why it's important, because we all have different facilities in which we take story, messages, all of that stuff from the content.
Can it? Yes, I'm seeing a therapist.
Perfect.
How can you tell Pete's worries?
Beautiful.
Hi, Double S Jess! Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. First, last, that's a
people can be concerned, but it doesn't
reminder.
help when
Thank
people
you.
try to tell you what to do, diagnose you, make assumptions about you, try to...
Not here making assumptions, not here trying to diagnose, and I highly encourage the chat to follow that line of thinking.
Tell you what to do that when they're not professionals. I mean, I'm doing things with my professionals, you know, with my doctor, with my therapist.
Great.
And again, just because of all that, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have bad days, you know?
Yes, but you choose to showcase your bad days, and I get that that may help you in some regard, either financially or just in comfort. Like, okay, That's what it's, as an audience member, that's what it's beginning to feel like. It's beginning to feel like I'm going to have a bad, or I'm feeling like I'm having a bad day. I feel lonely, whatever. I just want to go live and have some human interaction, feel like I have audience support or members support. And that's kind of how this reads in regards to an audience member. It's interesting that I'm having these very serious discussions after the current week that we have been on. We've been on sympathy videos. We've been on like all those live streams. The tone in the discussions is all very hard to follow. It changes day to day. And that's fine because we as humans change day to day. Like I'm not always in the best of moods and I'm not always in the worst of moods, and that's fine. But just understand that the more you put yourself out there, the more you open the gate, essentially, for your audience to make opinions and observations on everything. On everything. Everything. If I come in sunburnt tomorrow, people are going to ask, why am I sunburnt? If I come in, upset tomorrow, the audience is going to ask why I'm upset. And if I came on camera upset every day for a month, and told you exactly the same reason, sympathy would occur, obviously, but the audience would also be telling me, hey, maybe you should go and do this. Maybe you should go and do this. Maybe you should stop doing this. Maybe you should talk to someone about this. Advice would be given. That is kind of what happens. And then in 3 months' time, in 4 months' time of me continuing to exhibit the same behavior or actions, you can guarantee my audience would be damn well upset with me that I wasn't listening to them at all, that I was just being essentially stubborn in regards to the content that I was showing them. Everything is content.
And honestly, sometimes...
Metal, everything is content, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be content. Everything is content. We can showcase absolutely everything. That's what we can, within the guidelines. That's what we get to do as content creators. We get to showcase the world, ourselves, our lives, all of those beautiful things. But ultimately, no one's making me do this. Like, I'm not forced to do any of this. It's my choice. It's my choice to do all of this. Just like it's any content creator's choice to create the content that they create. Hillary, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, hello, Hillary. How are you? Hillary says, gave my spider plant some egg water yesterday. It's so happy. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. For those of you who don't know what egg water is, I make like boiled eggs pretty much every day, and I take that water and then I let it come to room temperature, and then I feed my plants the egg water, and there are like vitamins and minerals from the eggshells that go into the egg water. So your plants tend to get pretty happy when they get fed egg water. It's
so
cool.
Just don't give a fuck, okay? You can accuse me of not giving a fuck or not trying. Yeah, some days I don't have it in me. So what? Are you gonna beat me up for it? What's the big deal? What's your point? Like.
No, but I just feel as if it's not. If it were me, I try to put myself in the situation to understand how I would feel. If it were me doing this, I would not want to come on camera. So in that, we are completely different.
Who cares? It happens. Why do people try to shame people with addictions or with problems, No,
we're just having discussions.
Exactly, Marissa. Like, I'm not dumb.
By we, when I say this, by the way, I mean the royal we, I mean I. In that conversation, I am just having discussions on what is being produced and monetized on the YouTube. Yeah? I'm trying to make sense of the narrative. Oh, Evelina, thank you so much for the super chat. Evelina says, can we have a plant tour one day? Oh, absolutely. I don't have too many houseplants at the moment, but you can see Monsteria over there in the corner doing very well. And Monsteria 2, which is an off-cutting, is going well as well. I lost my train of thought there. Sorry, guys. I'll try to find it. It'll come back.
Like, I know more about myself than you do. Hi, Spinster!
Oh, I was going to say, it's slice of life content, so it's very much like a window into another person's life, right? There are examples out there of influencers who build up barriers or put on a character, and that's fine. I mean, as long as there is transparency. I think media audiences currently are very well versed in the influence sphere and understand that what we see on camera and what we see on Instagram and blah 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 like is not it is the 99 to 100% goodness of someone, right? And goodness is probably the wrong word. It is them at their best, right? 99 to 100% them at their best. That's how influencers are able to influence. It's how they're able to sell things. It is their business model, right? You curate an image. YouTube is the same deal, right? Vloggers, influencers, it's all about a cultivated image. And even me, I have a cultivated image. I am set up in a particular way. I try to use a particular setup for my technical recordings. I try to sit on particular talking points. I literally have quotes and talk about authority and talk about motivation and talk about all of that. And that is cultivated because I am responsible for the content that I create. So I like to have it compartmentalized and nice and neat. So just like me, Foodie also cultivates her own content. Like, I honestly feel as if content creators should be held at the same accountability, the same responsibility, because again, no one is making anyone turn the camera on. No one is forcing it. It is coming from us. It is our responsibility.
I don't need you to hold me accountable, Madden. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for that. Accountable for what? You know.
The content that you create, Foodie. I think that's fair. I think your audience is allowed to hold you accountable for the content that you create, not necessarily your actions, not necessarily like in regards to the actions that you partake in, but if they say, I don't want to see this content anymore, and they're an audience member, I feel like it's a really shitty thing for a content creator to be like, well, bye. Like, you can go away. That's fine. I think a content creator, you do need to kind of ride the balance of like knowing what your brand is, what your curated like content is, and understanding when audience members like stuff and when they don't like stuff, and you have to set your own boundaries and set your own lines in the sand and say, right, this is what I'll talk about or showcase, or this is the angle that I'll take it from, or push the line further and say, right, no, I'm going to take it in this way. It's all about accountability and responsibility. Sorry, Foodie, but it is. And so your audience is able to hold you accountable. It's just the truth. My audience is allowed to hold me accountable. My audience is really, really allowed to hold me accountable. They can shout out and let me know when I say something inappropriate or when they don't like me taking, a certain route. Whether or not I do anything about it is entirely on me. That's my responsibility. But, they can hold you accountable because they are consuming the media that you create.
No, holding you accountable is basically shaming you when you do wrong. That's what it is.
It's not, though. It's not. Accountability and shame are two different things. I would argue. That, are they both actions that will make an individual feel a certain way? Yeah. Accountability. This is the same argument, I think, as, shame and criticism are the same thing. Shame, criticism, accountability, they are all different. They are not all lumped into the same thing. And it's not a matter of and believe me, I've had some shitty relationships with people, right? Where I have thought that if someone doesn't like something that I do, that it is a personal attack. When I get told, well, you put that thing down wrong, I think they are literally coming for me. I think that they hate me with every fiber of their being. I don't think that way now. But certainly in the past, and that had a lot to do with anxiety, but in the past, I have felt in similar fashions. And I'm sure a lot of the audience can relate to that. Especially me and my dad don't have a great relationship, but a lot of the times when he tells me something or has told me something, don't do this or do this way, anxiety straight up through the roof. I would be like, oh my God, why does dad not like me? All of this. And it's hard. It's harder when, that relationship is magnified by the existence of media. I mean, obviously it's a hard thing to feel in relation to a family member. We've worked through that, which is great. But like, they are all different things. They all criticism, accountability, shame. They're all different.
I don't want people to hold me accountable for anything.
That's fine, but your audience gets to hold you accountable for the content that you create. They get to, because they are ultimately the consumer, right? And I think as a decent content creator, you recognize when you have, because audience members don't have to be here, right? You guys don't have to be in the chat right now. People don't have to watch Foodie. There's no obligation for us to do anything, and there's no obligation for her to create the content. But there should be a level of respect going both ways in regards to the content creator will hear when, saying slurs or using problematic language or charged language, will hear when that is not an acceptable thing from their audience, and respect that and acknowledge that in kind, as opposed to completely dismissing any worries, concerns, thoughts, or feelings of their audience. Because ultimately, Foodie wouldn't be here without the audience. I might be here. I probably wouldn't be here. I mean, well, that being said, I'm a member of Foodie's audience, so I wouldn't be here if that were the case. I'm trying to do like Avengers Endgame timeline math in my head. But you have to respect your audience. Sorry, that's just like, it's just Creator 101.
Thank you very much. Okay. I wish I had slow mode. I can't put it on, but anyways, I don't want accountability. I'm not angry. I'm just telling you. I have to pee.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think... Oh, no. Does it end here? No. Okay, no, wait. I think it does end here. She's gone to pee. Very good. Okay, we're going to switch back to this one, and we're going to move over. Hi! It's full screen, Zach. How's it going? Yeah, we are only going to watch these two, because I can't watch the current one that's going on for the sake of my own ness. So that's fine. But we're just going to catch up on the end of before the drive home. There was the I'm okay live, which is fine. It's only 20 minutes, so we'll get all caught up. Bear with me one moment, please. Stream team. There, and there. Okay. Cool. We're back. A dinosaur story. Night, Grace. Have a good one. See you, Teresa. Enjoy class.
200 meters. Turn right onto County Road 12. Signs for County Road 12.
Also, chat, can you let me know what your GPS sounds like? Because I have, like, the Google Assistant. And she comes across quite passive-aggressive. I feel like everyone has, like, an interesting relationship with their GPS. Metallic eyeliner? No, that's just my eyes. I just have really oily skin, so the shine comes up really easily. I have, like, 2 lights on me at the moment. Australian female Siri? Nice. Muted, she shouts
at you,
Bex.
I can't really look at the chat because I'm driving, so... Yeah, sorry about that. I don't want to worry you guys.
Continue on County Road 12 for 8 kilometers.
Oh, I think, again, I don't read her chat because I care about my mental health. I think her chat may have gotten intrigued because it kind of just cut off at the end. But we're back. GPS is a bish.
My connection back there was
a shady
really bad.
GPS bunny.
So, it was not, it
Apple
just, like,
Maps
ended.
sounds pretty.
So,
nice.
yes, I...
Sorry, Pac-Man, I read pretty, not petty there.
did poop. Okay, I had to poop. So I had to poo.
Things you didn't need to share with the internet. My apologies, audience members, if you feel as if I need to share my motions more. That is something. That is a barrier. That is a line in the sand that I don't necessarily want to cross.
And it was so relaxing, pooping outside in the middle of nowhere, nothing but crisp, nice, beautiful snow, looking up at the stars, and
Okay.
you know, this might be TMI, this might be gross,
It is.
and I can't see what anyone is saying, so I apologize.
It is. It is.
But it feels like it's easier to poop when you're squatting.
Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie said, "You seem really sweet. Only found you last night. Don't lose yourself in the internet craziness. You offer a lovely perspective." Thank you so much, Stephanie. I mean, if you just found me the other day, there's an entire back catalogue. I hope that you enjoy. But thank you very much for popping into the chat and saying hi. Pepsmint, thank you so much for the super chat. You didn't leave a message, but feel free to reach out if you'd like me to read something. I very much appreciate it. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, night, or morning, depending on where you are on this beautiful planet.
Than when you're sitting. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. So, I like pooping outside. I'm just going to say it. I don't know if there's a help group for that, if I need to go to some kind of Poopers Anonymous.
I mean, it's not like a hilarious thing to talk about in general, the topic, but like maybe that would be something to unpack with the therapist tomorrow. I don't know, or just something to mention or talk about if it's like I like, personally, and this may be TMI, I enjoy the safety and comfort of a bathroom when I need to relieve myself. That's just me, though, so.
Poopers Anonymous. But for me, I like going outside.
Okay.
And I'm just going to own who I am, and I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm not going to be ashamed of it.
You don't have to be, but also understand that your audience, that you have a platform and you have an audience, and everything that you say and everything that you do influences your audience towards opinions. That's it. And people are allowed to have shitty opinions. There are opinions. Unfortunately, they're the things in our head that you know, that happen. So. Oh, shitty. That was an unintended pun.
Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't mean to worry you guys. Just for the record, it's impossible for me to lock myself out of my car.
Vicky, I only just got it.
Because my car doesn't require a key to start it, and if the keys if the car's on and the keys are not in the car, it won't lock. And it's
okay.
If the keys are in the car, it won't lock. I leave my key, the starter key thing, in the car, and it's you can't lock yourself out.
Right, got it.
So I wanted to say that I guess I'm not in as good a mood as I thought I would be going live.
She says this now, and yet she's currently live at home. I find that curious.
I have a wicked, wicked, wicked headache. Bad. It's...
Again, if you have it, just, I'm not telling you what to do, but I just know if I have a headache, the last thing I want to do is to be holding up a phone talking to a platform of people on the internet. Then again, it kind of comes round to the, this is the social engagement. So that's, you're entitled to social engagement. That's absolutely fine. I'm certainly not trying to say that you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, a headache does not make me want to talk to people.
Really bad. It was like that yesterday. It's right in the front area into my eyes. And it might be that I need a better prescription of glasses, which I'm sure I do. Mm-hmm. But also, probably this Ozempic injection has something to do to it. I'm also on the Crestor.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
See, she doesn't know.
Maybe I'll just talk for a few minutes. I can't look at the chat, unfortunately. I do appreciate you guys being here. I can read the chat after on the replay. Mm-hmm. I do want some water.
Hey,
really
Panda,
bad.
how are you?
I don't think diet soda is the best thing, obviously. I think I do these things also out of it made me realize a lot of people were saying, well, you shouldn't have weight loss surgery when you're in that mindset that I am, because it's true. Because you know, let's say I get the weight loss surgery and
Okay.
nothing is fixed in my head. You know, it's you're good. You want to eat out of habit. You want to eat out of.
I said all of this week. I said it. This is great to hear. Not in like relation to Chantal, but just like I feel as if my thoughts were valid on the whole, like, well, just because you deal with the physicality of it all doesn't mean you necessarily deal with the mentality of it all. And I feel like they kind of got to work in harmony for you to see the result that you ultimately want. Again, not an authority, not a mental or physical healthcare professional, just like it seems to make sense. And she's spoken quite openly about the relationship with food and how mood can impact that and how Beeze impacts that. So it's not a far stretch, I don't think, for the audience to come to the same conclusion that Chantal is speaking on here.
Other reasons other than hunger.
Sorry.
And that's, you know,
Boredom.
like eating that pizza. Like I felt really hungry, like I wanted to eat, but then after a couple of slices it just started tasting like salty cardboard, like literally. And then but I kept eating it because it's like, this is pizza. This is, you know, this is amazing to me normally. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to keep eating it, you know, and hoping it would just like fix any depressed feelings I had at that moment. And
I'm not saying, like, I mean, I can pinpoint in the worst relationships I had with food, there were definitely things that I prepared to make me feel good. And it wasn't necessarily a physical feeling, it was a mental feeling for sure. So I relate, boy, howdy do I relate. Like, I spent years thinking like this, or at least years making myself feel good with food. And whether or not that was because I was trying to elevate my mood or whether or not it was because of boredom, I still was ultimately making myself feel good with food. So yeah, I mean, I get it, but you got to reach a point, and especially, okay, here's the tea. The tea is, I never spoke about it, right? I never spoke about it. I never talked to people about my relationship with food. I never talked to people and said, oh God, I just love eating my body weight in pasta at 2 a.m. It makes me feel so... I never spoke about it. Never. And I understand we all have different lived experiences and we all form and function in different ways, and that's great. For me, it's strange. It's strange for me because I would never speak about my eating habits, ever. I wouldn't tell people because I was ashamed, like I was. I was ashamed of my eating habits. I was ashamed of the food that I was putting in my body. I was ashamed of the relationship I had with food. I would be, like, I was the type of very heavy set individual who would sit down with a group of friends and just have a side salad. Like, I would have the smallest meal. I would have the cheapest meal. I wouldn't have share plates. I would just have like the one thing and be fine. And then I'd leave dinner and then I'd get like 4 cheeseburgers on the way home. Like, that was me, because food intrinsically did have a shameful place in the public perception of me enjoying food. It's not right. It's not okay. But that was my issue, right? That was my issue, because I was telling myself, don't eat the steak because people are going to think you're fat. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there at 135 kilos. It doesn't matter what other people think regardless, but that was an internal struggle that I had. So when Foodie does this, when she sits on camera and she speaks about, like, well, you don't get to hold me accountable and, you know, I eat the food because it makes me happy, I don't understand how you could put it into such a public forum and not, like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. And it is one of those, like, curious questions that I always come back to with Chantal, because it's so different to the way that I handled my relationship with food. And again, I'm not saying, like, we're all different. I'm not saying we all have the same, like, mechanics that we deal. But yeah, it is just, ultimately, it's one of those topics of discussion that is interesting, because we all have different relationships with food. We all have different relationships on, like, our appearance when it comes to, like, you know, being in public and you know, relationships about body image and all of that. It's all very interesting. For me, it's one of the biggest points of confusion for me is that I would, at my biggest, never have sat here and eaten something on camera and then spoken about my relationship with food, because it just seems like there's so much clarity in the conversation, like so much awareness that you have this thing going on and you're comfortable enough to talk about it openly, and yet seemingly not address any of it. That part. So anyway, we'll continue.
I get really mad, and I don't know if I'm mad at myself or if I'm just mad at, I lash out at people if I'm just mad, like hearing things that are, like you shouldn't be eating that and stuff like that. And I just hate that. I hate that I have to have restrictions in life. And I know that sounds bad and like grow up kind of thing. It's just my whole life I've never had to, and this is where it's led me, right? So
look, I'm going to say this for anyone out there and for future Zach. Future Zach, I have a lot of notes for future Zach in my videos, for those of you who hadn't noticed. Future Zach, if you ever start to feel this way again, stop. Come back, watch this video, recognize that feeling. Because restrictions are limitations. They're the things that keep us on the road, right? Look at this road as a perfect example. Let's imagine, at least for me, I will say, let's imagine future Zach. Restrictions are the barriers on the side of the road, right? The restrictions are the things that are going to keep you from going off and crashing, from going off and having an accident, from going off and being in an unsafe environment that you're unfamiliar with or can't see. The restrictions that you put in place are there to keep you on that road. Now, that's just for me, right? I understand that self-imposed restrictions and external forces can impose restrictions as well. I understand that restrictions are not always healthy. I understand that. That is an individual condition, right? That is an individual situation for all of us to deal with. My self-imposed restrictions, I have put restrictions in place in a healthy manner, and I have spoken to professionals about how to do that, and I feel like I understand it for me. That's all. So I don't want to sit here and say fuck restrictions. Because ultimately they are leading me to a goal that I want. A goal that I want and I feel like I deserve. That is how restrictions have helped me. I understand it can be a challenging phrase, a challenging terminology, but that's just my experience with how I was able to set goals and reach those goals, was by saying, I am an adult, I get to set my own restrictions, I am responsible for me and my health, and away we go. You know?
It's hard accepting that there's things I have to be really diligent with and responsible about, and I'm just not being. And I'm having a really hard time struggling with that and learning to deal with that.
Again, like I said earlier in the stream, I would be super interested for her to sit down and unpack the suggestions from therapy, the advice, the plan, all of that. I'd be super into it. Does she have to? No. Does she owe it to anyone? She is the content creator. She gets to make that choice. I'm just saying, as an audience member, I would be super interested to see that conversation. But I would have been super interested to see that conversation in over the last 2 or 3 years worth of content. So am I hopeful that we're going to see it? Probably not.
It really...
Again, because I keep cycling back. It's the relationship with the audience that is the key, right? For me, because if you're willing to sit here and talk about your relationship with food and talk about the fact that you don't want restrictions and talk about all of these honestly quite raw and real, you guys, topics, it's confusing as to why you would not want to talk about the positives of it all, the things that you're learning. Again, if we go back and look at the 2019 content, we can see her talking about things with her personal trainer, her talking, not with the personal trainer, but topics of discussion that she's had with the personal trainer about the diet of it all. And ultimately, I know that journey didn't work out either. But I think from an audience perspective, we would all be a lot less confused if we just knew what was going on, as opposed to getting fed transparent but like purposeful discussions of topics of discussion.
Sucks. It really sucks. No, but
Oh, buffering.
I always remember, like, it's hard for me to accept that food is like this girl that remember that girl. I don't know if I told you about this girl I made friends with in university. She was in some of my classes, and she was like a bodybuilder woman. Like, she would compete.
Cool.
Those competitions, like, the muscle is nice and everything, but like, what's with the awful spray tan? They always have these awful tans. So, you know, she showed me pictures and I'd be like, what's with the tan? And she's like, oh, it really enhances the muscle outline.
Definition, yeah.
So anyway, she was like, when she would be training, her mom would like make her food, and she would have to eat every so often. So she would.
Do love a supportive mom. I miss my mom. Actually, I spoke with my mom last night. Mum says hi, by the way. I spoke with mum last night. They're down in April, I think. I'll see mum and dad. So that'll be nice. I haven't seen them since August, so I will probably look pretty different.
Pull out this food in class.
I look forward to that.
And I remember she had this little container, measured, portioned perfectly. It was these green peas, just like steamed green peas, no seasoning, nothing. Just green peas
I'll
for
pass
the protein.
it on, guys.
Then some sweet potatoes for like a good carb for energy. So she had to like really, really mix food. Like, they weren't pleasurable for her to eat. Like, she was like trying to eat it and she's like, ugh, you know.
In 600 meters, turn left onto.
Okay, like, look, I've said it before and I will no doubt say it again in the future. So my apologies if you're over me talking. But like, food is fuel. Food doesn't necessarily need to be enjoyable. It doesn't need to be pleasurable. Those, like, good feelings you associate with food aren't necessarily a requirement. For some of us, and I'm not speaking about myself here because intuitively, my relationship with food was never great. But some people are able to eat purely for fuel, right? For sustenance. It's a thing. It's a thing. And it is, I think, something that I'm trying to train myself into, because I can recognize when food is delicious. I can recognize when, like, a dish is wonderfully prepared. I can recognize good food. But taking pleasure from the food, I feel like throws kind of a spanner in the works for me, because it leads to overeating. We talk a lot about carbs on this channel. You guys know. And that's just for me. So I'm trying to learn to take the pleasure out of food, which sounds bad, but ultimately I want to be able to sit down, be mindful of the food that I'm eating, be mindful of the fact that I'm putting this fuel into my body so that I can function, and not just like Foodie says we shouldn't associate shame and guilt with food. I personally think we shouldn't associate, like, you know, joy and ecstasy with food. That's just me, though. I'm not a professional. I'm not an authority on the topic. It's just my relationship with food and how I'm trying to build it from the smouldering rubble that it was for a good, 30 years.
Route 900 with County Road 5, signs for Embrun, Ontario 417.
But she would like, it was just like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, she must be so dedicated. Like, you know, it's to be able to eat that just for pure. And the messed up thing that I can't accept is that this is the food. This is the food. Oh, pew, it smells in this area. What is that?
She was on a topic here, and like nature. Nature has smells. Yep, that. She was on a topic here that I think was really interesting to unpack. Saying that, like, oh wait, I'll rewind because I need to pull the quote. I got distracted by the
pure. And the messed up thing that I can't accept is that this is the food. This is the food. Oh, pew, it smells in this area. What is
Damn
that?
it, sorry,
like,
sorry,
no.
team.
600 meters, turn left onto Route 900 with County Road 5, signs for Embrun, Ontario 417.
But she would like, it was just like, you know what I mean? And I was just like,
No.
She must be so dedicated. Like, you know, it's
Yes.
to be able to eat that just for pure. Yes. And the messed up thing that I can't accept is that
For pure sustenance, right? For pure energy, because I don't know what this person's situation was, but if they were a bodybuilder, I imagine they had some clear, very well-defined goals that they were trying to hit in terms of both their exercise and their diet, right? That's that. Because ultimately, do we have the ability to go out and eat whatever the hell we want? Absolutely. But when it comes down to what we put in our face, we're responsible for it for the most part. And also, we are the ones who get to dictate what it is, again, for the most part.
This is the food. This is the food. Oh, pew, it smells in this area. What is
Hi,
that?
Hannah, how are you?
Ew, it smells like cabbage crap.
Goal-orientated.
Okay, so this
Focus.
is the food that's good for your body, but it's not the food that you want to eat. It's like your body,
But who's to say? Again, everybody's relationship with food is different. That's what it is. So wanting to eat something and food being fuel for your body, sometimes those things do link up for people. Sometimes people do just want to eat for sustenance, and that's it. But, you know, at least from my perspective, my relationship with food was not always that way. I'm trying to change my mind. I'm trying to change my mindset around food. Do I get to still enjoy food? Yes. But that doesn't mean I have to associate, like, benefit or good feelings around it. I just have to change the mindset. And that's just me.
it's good for your body, but
Hey,
our minds like the unhealthy food. So how are we supposed to fight that? You know, it's like so weird.
By being focused. Being focused, putting in restrictions, doing all of those things where you feel you need to, where you are healthy to do so. All of those things. Life is hard. Life is hard. Life is tricky. No one's perfect. We all approach different situations and different elements of our lives in different ways. So that
the gall to eat that, like just the strength to just eat that while you're training, you know. But
oh, sorry, Hannah.
I bet you she felt amazing because it was like so healthy. And I don't think she was vegan, but she didn't need any meat at the time. It was all like plant-based protein and stuff. Anyway, and I feel like that's what I have to do right now. Like I have to eat like that because
No.
like in a way, food is medicine, right? And if you feed it crap,
food is fuel.
I don't know. I'm just so.
I don't like look. That phrase I don't necessarily enjoy personally. Food as medicine, because I think that there are like entire like scientific professionals and industries that we should probably listen to when it comes to medicine. So I think that phrase can be taken in a lot of different ways, right? So food as medicine, I mean, context is important, really important. Food as fuel, I do enjoy. Context is all I'm saying. Context.
Confused and just so messed up, and I don't like it. So I don't know. And this headache is really bothering me. And
It's such a shame that she continued to go live this evening as well, because in this clip we're just seeing a lot of like, if it were me. You know what I mean? Like, as audience members, we very often put ourselves in the shoes of characters, of individuals that we read about, that we watch, that we see, whatever. If it were me, if I were having a headache and had just, like, consumed a not great meal, I would probably be like, you know what? I'm packing it up. I'm going to bed.
I wish I had water and I only have Diet Coke. Ugh.
I have Pepsi Max.
Yeah, I couldn't eat, like, plain. Oh.
I missed that.
Gross. Anyway, I think the needle is definitely helping with appetite. I don't feel hungry, but I do, in my mind, like I said, still want to eat for comfort reasons.
Again, hearkening back to like the conversations we've had earlier in the week. I hope that the therapy, because she's mentioned that she will be speaking with her therapist tomorrow. I hope that they are able to discuss ways to manage that. It's a big like thing to unpack. It's a big thing to, you know, be given the tools for. I think it's a lot, because food is such a focus of everything that we as audience members are shown, not necessarily what I speculate goes on, because we're not here to talk about speculation. We're here to talk about what we see on the internet and the information that we're given on this public platform. So yeah, the relationship with the food is probably a big thing in Chantel's life. I don't think that's a presumptuous thing to say. And it is curious that with what we as audience members have learnt through Foodie about the Ozempic injection and the physical hunger versus the mental hunger, hopefully there will be a story of follow through in this line of thinking. I would love to see.
Which really is weird. And it's just like, oh, it sucks, man. I just want to I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Anyway, I know my GPS is on, once I get on the highway, I'm going to turn the
Shady
GPS completely off. It's just to, I'm going to end the stream before I get to my exit too. So, oh, wait, where are we right now?
Where are we? Where are we? It's very nighttime driving, not for me. I mean, driving in general, not for me, but like nighttime driving, really not for me.
Okay, I can turn it off now.
Especially, I don't know. It's uncomfortable, you know? It's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay. Buttons?
So, anyways,
Buttons.
those are my thoughts. Thinking out loud.
It's good. I hope all of these thoughts continue tomorrow.
Thinking out loud.
When you speak to the professional. I feel like that would be very beneficial. Fingers crossed.
My headache is so bad. One good thing is my breathing since I started on this new puff, the inhaler.
The asthma
My
inhaler.
breathing is a lot better.
Well, that's good.
Like I can actually go in somewhere with my mask and be able to breathe. You know? So that's a good thing.
It is. As a kid with asthma.
What's really weird too is I've been eating the crap, but I feel like I've lost a couple of inches because my steering wheel is not touching my stomach. So it used to touch like just barely touch the bottom of my stomach, but it doesn't right now. Like right now I can put my thumb in between the steering wheel and my stomach. Excuse me.
Okay, if it's that immediate and quick, I mean, work, but like, as I continue to say, my story of weight loss has been a very long, very boring, very straight road. So, like, I understand that the more weight you have to lose, the quicker it will, like, burn. And as you go, it gets slower and slower, and that's where we are right now, where Zach is fighting with his last 5 kilos. I get that. But, okay, cool. I think it's the difference in mentality for me, right? Because I acknowledge the struggles that I went through. I acknowledge that, like, at the start it was pretty easy. I just needed to control what was going in my face. And as I continued, I needed to exert more and more effort and energy and focus and do all of those things. But that's kind of a thing that it takes time to learn. Time to learn and time to acknowledge. And my journey of weight loss is fraught with, like, you know, U-turns and roundabouts and me sitting down for a little while and all of that. And I understand weight loss is a very personal thing. It's a very different for every person, whether or not you're doing it, you know, whichever way you choose to do it. So, anyway.
So,
buttons.
Yeah. I have therapy tomorrow.
It's got a corked leg. Ow.
And...
Oh, Kayla, thank you so much for the super chat. I hope you're doing well, Kayla. Kayla says, have a great day or evening, everyone. 4 a.m. here, getting ready for work. Frontline care worker. Oh, love the fun and insight of this channel. Kayla, thank you so much for everything that you do on the front lines as a health worker, and thank you very much for your super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Can we get some love for Kayla, some hands up for Kayla, and all of the frontline workers at the moment in the chat, please? I would very much appreciate it.
So anyways, guys.
Buttons.
I'm sorry I worried all you guys. The connection was so bad back there. And yes, I did end up having to poop. I ended up having to do a 2-for-1. Just like the pizza! A 2-for-1! 2 2 for 1.
I don't know if anyone has picked it up, but I just don't love toilet humor. I just don't. It's not funny to me. Sorry.
I'm thinking of those cookies. At my house. Cookies and milk.
But you just said you had a headache and you didn't like the pizza. And now we're just continuously talking about food. I get it. That's the channel. The channel is just talking about food and health consistently. I understand. I know. But just like, yeah, you reach a point.
Okay, the cabbage smell is gone. There was like a spot back there that smelled like cabbage crap. Like
I don't know what that is. I don't want to know
can't
what
describe
that is.
it.
Also, can we acknowledge how great cabbage is? Chat, let me know what your favorite way of preparing cabbage is. Mine is to slice it really finely and then like saute it in olive oil, garlic, and a little bit of chili. I do like a fried chili cabbage, and that usually goes in my fridge. Although I prepare most of my meals like independently as they are when I'm at home, for work lunches, I tend to make like 2 or 3 side dishes and just keep them in the fridge and then serve them up in the morning, take my little lunchbox to work, and then I have like everything. So at the moment I've got like sweet potato red curry, chicken thigh, and broccoli and nooch. The broccoli and nooch are fresh, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm a big fan of cabbage. Ooh, green cabbage. Red cabbage is good, but I prefer red cabbage in a coleslaw. Green cabbage is where it's at. Fermented cabbage,
yes,
heck
cookies
yeah.
are not good for me. I'm just telling you, like, what's going through my mind. Like, I just think about food probably, you know, like a man thinks about sex, that so they say, which is actually a myth, but every like 7 seconds. Well, I think about food like every 7 seconds. Like, I swear. I'm not joking.
I have not heard that saying, but okay.
Even when I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry right now at all.
I know it sounds dumb, but I almost wish she could just show this clip to her professional if she's not comfortable, because I don't know. I'm not Chantal. I'm not in her head. I don't know what she feels comfortable talking about. In my experience, talking to healthcare professionals can be anxiety inducing for me. Like, they can be. Quite often in my past, I have often just like smiled and nodded and not actually heard anything being said and just been like, okay. And then there was the light switch moment of like, you have high blood pressure. This is the drug we want you to take. And I don't know whether or not that's just a relationship with authority and like the anxiety of my own my own lived experiences getting in the way. But now I realize that healthcare professionals are literally there to help you. It's the point. So having a conversation with them like they're a human being is much easier. I truly, truly hope that Chantel's able to have these conversations with her healthcare professional. Because if they don't know, they can't help you. It's the same for everything, right? If someone doesn't know something, then no one's a mind reader. We don't know exactly what's going on. I assume, I'm going to wildly go out on a limb here and say healthcare professionals are able to like see test results and make decisions. But when it comes to unpacking things that are up here, you know, that can take time, that can take effort, that can take levels of comfort. It's all a very personal thing. So I think it's an interesting concept of like, I wonder if anyone ever approaches it this way and like, I feel more comfortable sitting in front of a camera, talking, having a conversation, getting all of my thoughts out here, and then like utilizing that in some form of professionalism. Again, not a mental or physical healthcare professional. I have no authority to talk on this. Just an interesting idea. Something for me to investigate, you know, whether or not that's actually a thing.
I have a bad headache.
You have to tell the truth.
Take some pills.
Yeah. It can be hard as well, like recognizing what your truth is and putting it to words and actually delivering it to another individual. And I'm not talking about like health, like professional capacity here or healthcare. I'm talking about like, even when you like have done, like admitting to fault, right? I'm not trying to say this is a Chantal conversation. This is a me thing, right? So like at work, if something goes wrong and it was my fault, and admitting to that fault or acknowledging the fact that it was my actions that led to something negative occurring, it can be hard, but I understand that like I'm an adult. I can deal with the repercussions of my own failings, and that's okay. it's okay. I can do that. I have a support network. I myself am a strong enough individual to acknowledge when something is my responsibility and when it has done badly or resulted in something that wasn't expected. But like that took time for me to develop as well, and that's a lot of like inner comfort for me. I wasn't always like that. Again, a lot of issues with anxiety and like authority, but it's just my story.
Now it smells like raw steak. I hate the smell of raw meat. Pew. What's going on with this country's smells?
I don't know, mate. You're out in the country. You could tell me. Are there cows there?
You guys.
Are there cows? Is cattle a big thing in Canada? Horses, farms. Is it manure?
When I get home, I'm gonna squeeze my cats. I'm gonna squeeze them.
Okay.
And hug them and squeeze them. Yes. Sam is so cute. He brought me his
thanks,
toys.
Nat.
You know that string that from St. Hubert's? That's the one thing he loves. That stupid plastic string thing. So he brings it to me in the kitchen, and then I go, "Where are your toys?" And then he wants me to play with his toys. And then he'll grab it, he'll yank on it to carry it, and he'll walk away with it in his mouth. And he'll go, "Where are you going with your toys? Where are you going with your toys? Where are your toys?"
Speaking of content and everything being content, I would watch that. I'm a fan of the cats. I know the voice is hard, but like I would like some produced like short films. I would like Abominable Pete's, but with the cats. I know like don't work with animals, but I think that there could be something in that. Big.
Anyway. Alright, I'm gonna get off here soon. And
Okay, we've got 4 minutes. Leg.
I've been watching Manhunter season 2. Such a good show.
I have no idea what that is.
I find his girlfriend is so effing annoying. I'm so glad. I wanted him to dump her so many times.
I have no idea.
She's so annoying. She's always bitchy. Like, what is the appeal in that? Like, don't be bitchy to your boyfriend like that all the time. Anyway. I don't like his girlfriend. And
don't be bitchy to people in
they did
general.
such a good job
Great
at
advice.
making that one guy look like the son of Sam. David Berkowitz. And Dennis Rader, the BTK killer. Like, they all look so, like, they did a good job at making them look like that.
No idea what she's
I was
talking
thinking
about.
of doing a series.
Oh.
I have a lot of ideas. I just need to execute them. It's called Serial Dinner. And we do a series, a sequence of dinners. And it's like, you know how like Saran Bailey or whatever her name, Bailey, what is it? Saran Bailey does the makeup and mystery or something.
Yes. For some reason, I was recommended Miss Bailey from I think I was watching like an Amber compilation, and Google was like, no, it was an Amber compilation, and then I think it must have been like a foodie creepypasta or something, and then that led to a recommendation, and I fell down the rabbit hole, and then I woke up, and my TV was playing Miss Bailey, and I was just like, I don't know who this person is. And then I watched 30 minutes of it, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
Like that? Well, I was thinking of doing cooking dinner, but like, so basically it's not like a mukbang, it's, you talk about the serial killer stuff while you're cooking. Like, I have like a tripod with a light, it's standing up, and I could stand, like I would, be standing around and cooking and doing different things while I talk about...
Look, as an audience member and someone who has an education in media, I don't think that is a good idea for Chantal, knowing what her previous attempts at similar forms of media have been, right? Like, the whole handling of the Delphi case as a creepypasta still sits really wrongly with me. So it takes, I believe, it takes a level of respect and tact and like knowledge in delivery when it comes to speaking about serious topics. One such serious topic, I believe, would be any discussion over serial killers, right? Like, it's not the place to be, like, saying that you need to go poo-poos in the kitchen or, like, yelling at your cats. Like, I just don't think that is a good idea. That's all. I just don't think it's a good idea for Chantal and in the way that she presents her content. That's all.
A serial killer. And then at the end, we get to try the food and eat the food.
Kyrie, thank you so much for the super chat. How are you? Good job. Oh, thank you. Is that a fox in a kigurumi? I think that might be a fox. Or is it a corgi in a kigurumi? Is it a loaf monster? A little loaf monster in a kigurumi. It's very cute. Thank you very much for the super sticker.
I think that would be a very good idea.
I don't think it would be a good idea. I don't think you could tell, like, the story of such severity while cooking and eating. I just don't think... I think it would take a very... Like, I just don't think those two things go together. I think it's a bit distasteful, personally, especially because, like, producer Cap Zach is like, oh, well, if you're going to do it that way, maybe you could talk about serial killers and, like, their last meals at the same time. And then, like, reasonable Zach is like, that's a fucking awful idea. Shut up. Like, no, the level of distaste and discomfort there is, like it just doesn't feel appropriate, right? It doesn't feel appropriate. Now, am I saying that content, like, should be made? For me, personally, no. But again, producer Cap Zach is like, interesting, you could do these things with it. Is it right? For me, no. Ethically, I don't think that's correct, but that's my own opinion on it. Anyway, sorry, guys. Filming Zach back.
What do you guys think? Now, it is very graphic. I mean...
Yeah.
Some of the things that are talked about.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It's definitely got to be, like, well constructed, delivered in the appropriate tone, all of that stuff.
Yes, who else does that?
I don't know.
It is very graphic, like serial killer stuff. I guess you could try to omit some of the graphic details, but I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting thing to talk about as an audience member as well. It's like, what level of comfort do you have in regards to, like, where do you, it's again that question of, like, where do you draw the line? First Last, thank you so much for the super chat. First Last says she likes the appropriate level of tact to discuss sensitive topics like true crime in a thoughtful and respectful manner. Look, again, I'm only here to speak on what we have seen in the content that has been produced, monetized, and available on this public platform. Yes. Yes, her past content does not make me feel comfortable that I would enjoy, as an audience member, the discussions of serial killers while cooking. That part. So yes, I would have to agree. Yeah. Anyway, we're almost done for the night, guys.
You know, the way they kill is part of the whole thing about being a serial killer. It is, and that's why topics of, like, serial killers while doing a cooking show, like, it's kind of, I think it's distasteful, but that's just me. So, I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. I just don't feel like doing any kind of videos right now. I don't know, like, I just feel like staying in bed all day, like I did today. I don't feel like...
Oh, thanks, Lucy. Sorry, Lily. I must have missed you. Said, Aphrodite's Peach does a YouTube video on the Delphi situation that pays its the due respect. I've seen a little bit of Aphrodite's Peach, and she seems very professional in the way that she, like, presents and discusses topics, so I definitely think I should check that out. And, like, maybe I don't know if I would want to... I don't want to rewatch Chantal's coverage of the Delphi case, but it may be interesting to, like, unpack the two of them at the same time by comparison. Again, different YouTube creators, different content, different tones and topics, but interesting when you look at formatting the media, for sure.
Doing a single thing, like maybe driving, because I like to drive. Like, I find it soothing, you know, but I don't like doing anything else sometimes. Anyway, So, I guess I'll
But-
get off here for now.
Okay. Good effort, team.
Maybe I'll go live when I get home.
Spoilers. It happened. Unsure
I
if
see a
it's still
flash of
happening.
blue, but I can't look, so...
Still happening?
Thank you!
Still happening. Oh boy.
Oh, round table, I see
Okay.
that. Thank you so much for the super chat. So, guys, I'm gonna end...
It's a cool idea, Lily. You think so? I think it'd be interesting to unpack the two of them. It's definitely something that you could, like, because there is no such thing as a new idea, right? So everything has been covered, everything has been spoken about, everything has been done. In relation to me doing that in the future, I think it would be a challenge only in that I don't feel super comfortable speaking on topics of that nature. So I think it would be particularly hard for me to like look at the formatting of the media of it all. But if I could find a topic that is like a topic of discussion that is similar, that is approached in two different formats and ways, I would absolutely be 100% down for comparing the formats.
I still have ways to go before I'm home, but little ways to go. Maybe like a half an hour or so. No, not a half an hour. Maybe 25 minutes.
Hey Olivia, how are you?
Appreciate you guys being here. And yeah, I was
do,
busy earlier,
Alex.
so I apologize for that.
I got them done like 3
I think I
weeks
just have
ago.
to realize that I have a larger
Like,
audience,
cute, right?
and I've shared too much about my personal self. So even if I don't want to be held accountable for things, people are going to anyways.
It's not about showing too much of your personal self. Again, you are the content creator, you are the one who is responsible, and you are the one who gets to turn the camera on and off. That's it. That's all it is. No one's forcing you. You choose the content that you put out there just as much as I do, just as much as anyone does. We make the choice. It is our responsibility because it is our actions. And that's not even a discussion about food. That's not even a discussion about like you as an individual or a person. If you are a content creator, regardless of whether or not it's on YouTube, if it's in a professional capacity where you're writing an email, if it's in like a home capacity where you're knitting a pair of socks, you are the creator. You are the person who is responsible for your actions in all things.
No matter what, I can't eliminate what people are going to say. So it's up to me to just ignore it and live my life. Not like ignore it in like the way you're thinking. It's just that, you know, if I'm going to basically show good and bad, you know what I mean?
That's fine. And this is the thing with the like discussion about 100 or 0 and there's nothing in between. Like you're allowed to show what you want. You're allowed to show the good, you're allowed to show the bad. Just understand that like communication is messy. And this is less of a conversation about media, but just a general thought about the way we communicate as individuals to one another. Communication is messy. Things get lost in translation, and that translation can be as basic as me sitting here speaking to a camera. Someone might think, oh, Zach said this thing, but his face didn't look like he meant it. Or Zach said this thing, but his tone inflected this. Again, it's all about clarity of communication, transparency, and context. Because like all content creators, anyone could take clips of people saying anything and put it to different contexts. But we as adults have quite a clear line of media language that we're able to kind of pass truth, fiction, fact, tone, context, all of those things.
Then I just have to just realize that. And there's like a lot of you who are very supportive and everything, so I just have to be better at like controlling my anger with people. It's just like it just gets sickening sometimes, you know?
As an individual who has been very angry in the past, I can tell you, Chantal, I am very, very happy that I found ways to manage my anger and anxiety. I did. Because you deserve it, and I deserve it, and everybody deserves to have a healthy relationship with themselves, not just in a physical capacity, but in a mental and emotional capacity as well. So, that.
But for the most part, it's all right, I guess. Anyways.
Anyways.
Bye!
Oh, bye?
See you guys later.
Yes, bye. Okay, we're done. Team, I'm not covering the current live because we're not doing that. We're not doing that. What's going on? What's going on? Hello, Core. How's it going? We'll spend a couple of minutes discussing our thoughts on the day, I suppose. Actually, let's just not talk about it. Because, to be fair, the conversations have all been had before. They are all very repetitive. And we all watch the content. We know what's going on. I unpacked it over the last 2 hours, so that's fine. But I say it very often, but I utilize this content in a way that helped me, right? We all take, again, this is a conversation about media. We all take different things. We all take different messages and context and language and motivation and inspiration. We all take different things from media. So if you're a creator with a really large platform and you're able to have communication with so many individuals and so many audience members, why not choose to be positive? Why not choose to discuss things that, yes, are tricky and sticky and hard to have conversations about, but, you know, like, choose good, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Choose good. Choose good, and when you recognize that you are in a hard spot, in a challenging spot, you have things going on that you don't necessarily enjoy or agree with, find ways to manage it. Find ways to find support or be supportive yourself, or, you know, live your best life is what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Interpretation is very subjective. Interpretation is absolutely subjective, 100%. And, you know, when we talk about content creators, it depends on where you get on board, right? I was reading someone's discussion in the Discord a little earlier today, and they were saying how different I seem on camera versus my first video. And it's true. Where your audience steps on in your creation, like, timeline will absolutely impact what they think of you, what their thoughts are. And our opinions are all our own, and we base them on the content that we see. And again, no one's forcing me to make this content. I create this content because I enjoy this community, this corner of the internet that we've managed to carve out and find a whole bunch of people who are setting their own goals, smashing their own goals, being, you know, the best versions of themselves that they want to be because of influence from other content creators. So it's just a nice thing to do. A nice thing to do. And it makes me feel good that there are so many of you in the audience who recognize the benefit personally to the content that we consume. Enjoy might be a subjective word, but all of that. Anyway, we're going to pack it in. It's 7:41 p.m. I need to find something for dinner. Something quick, something small, because I've eaten reasonably today. There was a lot going on at work, so... So I'm going to pack it in. Thank you all so much for joining me. On your way out, if you'd like to leave a like, I would very much appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video and or live stream. Bye!